Welcome to this enlightening discussion on the philosophical layers within DAH. Let's jump right in, shall we?
Absolutely. There's so much to unpack here. What really stands out to you at the start?
Right. The very beginning. The preface and introduction sets the tone quite powerfully. The author makes it clear that this book is a blend of thoughts from previous works and expresses a deep commitment to sharing wisdom that's both collected and refined over time.
It's like you're immediately drawn into a universe where each quote is meant to uplift the reader's reality, right?
Exactly. The idea
Yep.
that a wise choice is surrounded by wisdom recurs like a mantra across the chapters really ties everything together.
And that recurring phrase acts almost like a reminder of how crucial wisdom and thoughtful choices are in life.
Yes. And when you look at Chapter 1, titled Don't Be a Fool, it really dives into the pitfalls of foolish behavior. Like, for instance, planning out your actions based solely on self-knowledge or imagination when engaging with, well, a fool. You know what I mean?
It's a striking warning. It warns against mapping out schemes that ultimately only lead to self-inflicted foolishness.
Right. It's like constructing a grand plan and then realizing, oh snap, I'm just setting myself up to be taken for a ride. The author uses analogies about laziness growing into sin and the dangers of getting too entangled with glory.
Yeah, that part about laziness transitioning into a deeper moral failing is really compelling. It feels almost like a moral compass tethered to one's everyday decisions.
Definitely. And there's also an interesting point about how fools tend to overvalue immediate glory, even if it leads to a kind of entombment for greater potential. It's a reminder that actions based on fleeting allure can, in the long run, lead to regret.
True, but don't you think some might argue that sometimes taking a risk, even if it appears foolish, can lead to learning something new?
I see your point, but here the notion is very deliberate. Aligning oneself with the wise, rather than mimicking the fool's impulsiveness, is the key. It's basically saying that a plan without wisdom is like a ship without a captain.
Fair enough. And that also ties into the idea that wisdom isn't just knowledge. It's about applying that knowledge in a way that benefits your life.
Exactly, which segues us very naturally into Chapter 2, Wisdom. In that section, the author speaks about how wisdom is a form of trade, a transformation of opportunities into valuable experience.
Right. It's almost like every opportunity is a seed that, with proper nurturing, blossoms into genuine understanding.
Yep, it's like seeing each challenging moment as an investment. The text makes it clear that knowing how to extract the intended value from a moment is what distinguishes the wise from the foolish.
And there's that caution in the wisdom chapter too, especially about sharing too much knowledge in a debate with a fool. It underlines the importance of discretion.
Correct. And it's interesting because it reminds us, in a respectful way, that sometimes less is more, especially when your insights could be misused by someone who doesn't appreciate them.
I totally agree. There's also a nice layer there about the evolution of mankind, how wisdom is both inherited and cultivated over time.
Absolutely. The narrative beautifully connects the dots between knowledge, experience, and our personal progression in life. It's a call to work smarter, not just harder.
And then in Chapter 3, Wise Lesson Advice, the discussion shifts towards practical, day-to-day applications. It's like the author is saying, look, theory is great, but here's how you make it work in your life.
Exactly. This chapter is almost like a workshop on how to live thoughtfully. It covers a broad range of advice, from steering clear of excessive complaining to managing the pitfalls of copying others without understanding the core principles.
And I love the analogy about, comparing hard work to running a good business. It paints a picture of personal responsibility and self-management.
Right. It's like the author is insisting on accountability. If you've put nothing in, expect nothing out. These verses serve as wake-up calls that demanding results from life truly requires effort and self-respect.
There's also a recurring emphasis on the importance of aligning one's actions with reality. I mean, Using one's body as a vessel for the mind, and actions that speak louder than words really underline that essence.
Yes, and it's a subtle nudge to not let yourself be swayed by momentary emotions, like complaining or boasting, because those habits can, in the long run, damage your reputation and personal growth.
Right. It makes you think about how every decision, every habit, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture of who you become.
Exactly. And then we get to chapter 4, Cultivate Life Knowledge. This chapter is more about self-improvement, discarding a mindset of I can't for a stance of empowerment.
It's essentially an invitation to embrace the challenges of life as opportunities for growth. Like, if you don't believe in yourself, you're already setting up limits.
Yes, it stresses that true cultivation comes from within. The idea that self-improvement doesn't come from external pressures, but rather from internally motivated action is central here.
And, it's interesting how the text advises us to be cautious about who we surround ourselves with. Good influences can propel you forward, but negative energies can really hold you back.
Definitely, the text emphasizes selecting role models and mentors wisely because they shape your growth. It even mentions that sometimes to truly cultivate, you might have to work quietly so as not to invite unnecessary scrutiny or jealousy.
That's a solid point. There's a balance between being open to guidance and protecting your personal journey from external negativity.
Right. And throughout these chapters, there's a compassionate yet firm call to reject the traps set by laziness and unfounded pride. The repeated advice to avoid following in the footsteps of fools is almost like a framework for building a resilient mindset.
I do wonder, though, sometimes the line between caution and isolation can be thin. Isn't there a risk of becoming too guarded and then missing out on valuable input from others?
That's a great challenge to the argument, and it's valid. However, I think the text suggests a measured openness. Listen and learn, but always validate with your own wisdom. It's not about shutting oneself off, but about filtering out noise that doesn't contribute to genuine growth.
That makes sense. It's like having a healthy skepticism without swinging entirely into cynicism.
Exactly. It's a call to be independently minded but also interconnected, with self-respect and internal drive at the core. The repeated line, "A wise choice is surrounded by wisdom," reminds us constantly to let our decisions be guided by thoughtful reflection.
And it's impressive how the text weaves together broad, almost cosmic concepts with very down-to-earth, actionable advice.
Right. The author beautifully balances grand ideas with everyday practicality. It's almost like saying the universe is both vast and intricate, and so is the journey within ourselves.
I love that juxtaposition. It's encouraging, really, to think that every small action contributes to a larger, more significant tapestry of life.
Exactly. And with all these chapters, the overarching message seems to be that wisdom and growth are continuous journeys. You must actively avoid foolish traps, seek wisdom through experience and careful thought, and consistently cultivate life knowledge.
And in doing so, you not only enrich your life, but also create a positive ripple effect for those around you.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that our own progress and enlightenment can empower others too. Every step taken wisely builds not just our future, but can uplift our community in meaningful ways.
There's so much here, from warnings about laziness and the dangers of blindly following to fostering a life of responsibility and mindful growth. It really leaves one motivated to reflect on personal habits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while it's quite a dense collection of moral and practical lessons, the beauty is in its repetition of that central mantra. Every wise choice is wrapped in a web of wisdom.
I'm definitely taking away the need to continuously evaluate my own decisions while also striving to improve. It's almost, a call to constant self-improvement and awareness.
That's right. And as we wrap up, it's clear that Quote DH isn't just a book of quotations. It's a guide, sometimes strict, sometimes gentle, urging us to live intentionally, to work on ourselves, and to not let foolishness erode our potential.
This discussion has truly been like a mini lesson on life, which is exactly what the text is aiming for. I feel inspired to look anew at my choices and surroundings.
Absolutely, and remember, every decision, every action, no matter how seemingly small, contributes to the whole. A reminder to stay curious, guard our wisdom, and keep cultivating our life knowledge.
Well, thanks for this deep dive. Truly, it's been a conversation that mirrors the gift of careful reflection and a wise pursuit of understanding.
Indeed, here's to living wisely and making choices that truly reflect our best selves. Until next time, keep your minds sharp and your hearts grateful.